Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Stand by.
Okay.
Stand by.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, action.
Hello and welcome to the conversation on BRTV TV, your home of talk and entertainment. My name remains Ugo, I'm your regular host on your favorite political program. And today we are looking at 2018 general elections, the issues, and we're reaching you live from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Once again, I want to say a big welcome. On the conversation, we'll take an in-depth and critical analysis of political issues making the rounds in Nigeria. We will go on a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back from that short break. If you just joined us, you are watching the conversation on BRTV TV. On the countdown to the 2019 general elections is day 37 to the D-Day that Nigerians are eagerly waiting. Okay, we are in that season of election and the fever is growing, tempers are rising. The political parties and the candidates have officially flagged off their campaign in accordance with guidelines of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the electoral umpire. And then it's been campaign time after the primaries campaign from one state to the other. And the political parties are putting their best out there to ensure that the sway voters in their favor come to February 16, 2019. Today on the conversation, it promises to be quite interesting, another edition of your favorite political program, because we have critical stakeholders in the process in the studio today to do justice to the critical issues that concern the 2019 general elections. Okay, I have two guests in the studio today, and on my right is a man that has decided to do things unconventionally. If you ask me, he doesn't do things the way people do theirs. He is a presidential candidate of one of the political parties. He's a face we know. He's a voice we understand. I have with me in the studio this morning Omoyele Sowore. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Okay, he is the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress. And the girl on my left in the studio is Ahmed Adamu. He is the special assistant to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar on youth and strategy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And welcome to the conversation. Okay, sir, I will start with you. As a presidential candidate, Nigerians will want to know who is Omoyele Sowore in a brief.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Omoyele Sowore. As you mentioned, I'm a Nigerian from Ondo State originally, and I attended secondary school, primary school in Ondo State, and attended the University of Lagos. So student union president in 1990 during the era of military rule, and also probably widely mostly known in contemporary times as the publisher Sahara reporters. And I'm now presidential candidate to the African Action Congress, the new political party that established 4 months ago.
Okay, all right, thank you. We'll come to you. We know you in a brief.
Yes, my name is Dr. Ahmed Adamu. I'm a university lecturer from Katsina State, and like you said, I'm a special assistant to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. I'm a patriotic economist. I've been a lecturer for 8 years.
Thank you. You are still watching the conversation today on BRTV TV. You can call and be part of the conversation today via our phone line 081-2844-6000. 081-2844-6000. You can equally send us WhatsApp on the same line or reach out to us on our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at BRTV Africa. Thank you so very much. Okay, Mr. Sowore, we'll come back to you. Why do you want to be president of Nigeria?
I'm supremely qualified based on age, based on the antecedents, based on educational qualification. But most importantly, I'm better qualified than other candidates running in this election. Having been part of the political process in Nigeria for the last 30 years and come to a very solid conclusion that I said good people get involved in the political process. This country cannot climb out of the crisis of leadership that it has faced over the last 58 years. The hunger and starvation that has ravaged the land, the terrorism, war and crime that has become almost our national identity. And it takes people with strong will, people with integrity, people with stamina, to lead a vibrant country like in Nigeria that can become a really vibrant space. And I have done this by forming a political movement 9 months ago, and I was taken back home when 4 months ago it became a political party, and I'm now the candidate. So, of all the candidates, I say with due respect, we're the most independent. As you can see, our opponent, Atiku Abubakar, had to send somebody here today because they're afraid to face in public. Typically, I wouldn't accept to be on stage with a special assistant. I'd like to see the candidates, honestly, but I think it's a lesson for you guys in the media. Don't keep shielding these guys. We're 39 days or 30 days.
You like the media too? So we're not shielding anybody. No, seriously, we're not.
You insist that they come out of this.
Yeah, you will be there.
And still respect to the young man. I actually wish you are the presidential candidate of your party. This is our time. You're probably better qualified than the position you're offered. I should not accept anything less than the best at all times.
Okay, all right. That's Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate of African Action Congress. Okay, we move over to Ahmed Adamu, the Special Assistant to His Excellency Atiku on Youth Strategy. Why do you feel that Atiku should be elected the president of Nigeria come February 16, 2019?
First, let me respond to you.
Sorry, please, we need to, they call it. Hello.
Okay.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, you are. Good morning. Your name and your location, please. From Italy. Okay, go ahead, please. Okay, thank you. Yeah, he can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you so much for calling from Italy and have a wonderful day ahead of you. Okay, sorry, accommodations for you from Italy. Okay, why should Nigerians vote Alhaji Atiku Abubakar?
Like I said, I would like to respond to Shore's comments. When he said His Excellency Atiku Abubakar should be here, like you said. Atiku Abubakar right now as we speak is on his way to Niger State for campaign. And he will not also be here personally, but I'm here. That represents, that's okay. Because Atiku Abubakar is not a embodiment of personality, an individual. It's a project. It's not only centered around the person that they call Atiku, because we have a project called Get Nigeria Working Again, and that does not mean that Atiku himself have to be here to explain what this project is about. If someone is not acquainted with the policy, with the project, you can stand here and represent the candidate, because 2019 election is not about Atiku. It's about Nigeria and Nigerians. And I'm part of Nigeria. I'm also a Nigerian. And I have a stake in this election because our future is at stake. And the reason why Abubakar is the best candidate for Nigeria at this moment is if you look at all candidates, the only candidate with a policy, with a plan of what to do and how to do it.
Okay, so if you look at we got another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and your location. What's your name? Okay, go ahead, please.
I'm
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We are doing good work. We want to continue to be encouraged. But I know as we go forward to your students on that, what we do from the area, I want to speak to you. So for them to look at us as Nigeria, they take us as people who know what is happening in Nigeria. And for that young man that sit down there, I also show better job going on. Let us come and sit down and say, if you want to be president of Nigeria, you are not to speak to say your office. And we also know that it's responsible for the wildlife in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Parker from Ghana. Thank you for calling. Have a pleasant day ahead of you. Okay, okay, I will pause. I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Omoyele Sowore, what are you going to do differently with respect to the economy if and when elected into office?
So, an economy is not without certain variables worth. And you cannot even have an economy in isolation. Certain number of things. That's why our program is based on doing 10 different things at the same time.
10.
Yes, and that's what we call it, the economy spice of it.
Spice of it.
Yes, and it stands on 3 pillars of security, self-sufficiency, and sustainability. And first is for security by itself. It's a standing on. We have power. You cannot have an economy without supply of electricity in abundance. You can have manufacturing that's relying on generators. You can have an economy that's working without infrastructure. So we want to double Nigeria with infrastructure, for example. 17 million homes to have shelter. We want to invest heavily in agriculture. We want to invest in health. We want to invest in tourism.
So, hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, please do what we're calling us now.
Yes. So, and this is 10 areas, and the reason why Nigeria will come out of Indora. You know, I like to respond to when I call it here. I must not respect you. No attempt to. I'm also going to campaign. So it's not an excuse for a candidate not to come to a radio show. He has to be versatile, but you know the reason why they're sending young people like him. Because they're tired.
Okay, so we're going to call it one of the ideas. Hello, good morning. Okay, your name and your location.
My name is Karadi Barakema. I am calling from Germany.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, I just want to contribute that Sowore is a great man. Only what he has done is a great man. There is no doubt about it. Every Nigerian should vote for him.
Okay. Are you done with your contribution? Or you have some more things to say?
Yeah.
You have more things to say, or you're done?
What I feel because
Okay.
for everybody question, everybody
Yes.
means that all should support him. Because I watch TV, people saying you do not have money, blah blah blah. No, not everything. Only the good work of Sowore I have seen is a legend already. As people of Buhari, they are not legends for us. That is what I want to say.
Okay.
They are not legends for like Nigerians. Because we have so many blind spots. That is why Nigeria is like that today. Thank you, Mr. President, for more than to help.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you so much, Mr.
And before Bayata is going to vote for you,
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, all right, thank you. We won't be able to take WhatsApp calls. Please just send us chats on WhatsApp because we can see WhatsApp calls already buzzing. And there's another caller. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and your location?
Yeah, calling from Kwame.
Okay.
We don't need to they are criminals, they are those come back. So we don't need them to be our president for the government of Nigeria. Because people are operating in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your call. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Okay, God bless you. Please do not put across WhatsApp calls. It's really disturbing our system. Just send us chats on WhatsApp, please. Thank you. Sorry, we have so much to say, but calls Nigerians are expressing actually how they feel about the entire situation. Okay, it's meant to be interactive. We need to feel the pulse of the people, and then they need to feel it too. That's why we are here, to create that daily interface with them. Okay, I did ask you what you do differently. You talk about infrastructure and all of that. Okay, how would you rate the level of infrastructural development thus far in Nigeria?
It's terrible.
Since 1999.
Without running to a pothole or a crack in the middle of the road.
And also songs at home.
And you know, maybe the only place I have seen in Nigeria, having traveled to the three states, is probably the airport from Abuja to City. I don't know how long it is, so I'm not going to assume, but I don't think it will probably be about 20 kilometers or thereabouts. So it's fairly okay, but this is a country that should have 20. We have about 20 kilometers of highway, federal highway. We need to double that immediately. Double it and fix the other side. The Lagos-Ibadan highway, that is one of the most prominent. Kano-Kaduna, one of the most prominent. They have been under refurbishment.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. In the location.
Mr. Abraham from Lagos, Nigeria.
Mr. what?
Mr. Abraham.
Okay.
From Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, I would like to speak with
Can you speak up a bit?
Okay,
Okay, he's in the studio. He can hear you, so go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Sowore, yes, I've been following you for a very long time. Trust me, I really appreciate and I believe everyone around me also appreciate what they do because I've taken my time to do the whole lot of people to what they're doing by grace. So what I just want to advise you is that please, when you're speaking your cabinet, I get to the name of God, it's the right people, and I know God will give you to that. Because the reason why we are coming out today is because some people are important to this man. I only believe that I can have the right to come. But it was surrounded with love. It was surrounded with prayer. So I wouldn't want to surround yourself with this kind of terrible people. I believe and I trust God that God is good to them. Come 29, coming there this election in 2 days' time. I strongly believe that.
Thank you so much.
I just want you to have the right people around you. And I know God will support you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate what you're doing. And Nigerians are working.
Thank you.
That is true.
Thank you.
Nigerians are working.
Very well noted. Thank you so much.
so much for the comment.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for calling. Okay, I will go over to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who you're representing here today. Okay, President of Nigeria, 1999 to 2007. Okay, and because now people are asking, what is it that he forgot to do or he couldn't do now, then, and then that he wants to do now?
Well, you can ask me a question. You can ask what sure he couldn't have done without getting into the office of the president. That's so much more people can do in many places. And as Atiku Abubakar was never president.
Yes,
he was only a vice president. And he thought this is the best time he needs to come back at the helm of affairs and become the leader of the country because things are not going well. And he came up with what to do and how to do it.
Okay, so
and I'm sure that's why he's running.
Okay, so we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name and your location.
Yeah, I'm Raymond. I'm calling from Spain.
Okay, from Spain.
Contribution to the interview.
Okay.
I'm sending a message to Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
We have created Nigeria mutual, so we don't want it in our government anymore. He's not enough. Nigeria has suffered a lot. Nigeria has never worked in the history of Nigeria since 1960. So we want AAC, Omoyele Sowore, to take us forward. So that is how I want to contribute.
Okay.
So you are a young one. I'm telling you to bring you Atiku. You shouldn't think about it. We cannot win. That's it. We can never win. People dead and gone in Nigeria. The reason why people get God power, as soon as you take over AAC, that is the end of people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your call. God bless you. A whole lot of messages on WhatsApp and
I was disappointed.
yeah, there's a message here too on for you that said, how does Atiku intend to address the power issue? That is a major issue.
If you recall in the power sector reform, which started during Atiku Abubakar when he was the vice president, the NIPP, the National Integrated Power Plan. So they were the ones who crafted that idea, and it was building on that blueprint that we have little improvement in the power sector. And what we tried to do is to now, looking at the transmission segment, to divide the transmission company into segments and then bring private sector and invest in the transmission capacity. And right now we have the capacity to produce 8,000 megawatts. And what we can transmit is around 6,000. What we can produce is around 4,000. So you can see the gap. What he's trying to do is now to look at the transmission segment and then distribution segment so that people can afford to pay for electricity. And we have more production and then we can transmit whatever we can produce. The privatization is the key because private sector is going to be the engine of the economy with Atiku Abubakar as president.
Okay.
And with the investment in that segment and positive infrastructure, access to electricity will definitely improve.
Okay, thank you for, you're still watching the conversation on Bright Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment, and it's quite interesting today. The house is full and the calls are coming in and Nigerians are participating. We appreciate you so very much. From the stable of Bright Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment, we will go on a short break. The conversation returns to you in a bit.
The TV and over federal class did not only create wealth for the minority, their friends, cronies, and stalwarts, and hunger for the majority, but also created a people who see themselves as hungry Yorubas, hungry Igbos, hungry Hausas. The Sims have succeeded in creating hungry pastors and hungry imams. All this in the bid to crush the resistance by the hungry people. We shall be free the day we realize that there are only hungry Nigerians. The TV and overfed ruling class did not only create wealth for the minority, their friends, cronies, and stalwarts, and hunger for the majority, but also created a people who see themselves as hungry Yorubas, hungry Igbos, hungry Hausas. The scenes have succeeded in creating hungry pastors and hungry imams. All this in the bid to crush the resistance by the hungry people. We shall be free the day we realize that there are only hungry Nigerians.
Take it back, action!
The TV and overfed ruling class did not only create wealth for the minority, their friends.
Take it back, take it back. Take it back, take it back.
Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment. And we meet in the studio today Mr. Omoyele Sowore is the president candidate of the African Action Congress, and Ahmed Adamu, the special assistant to Excellency Atiku Abubakar on youth and strategy. Okay, before we went on that short break, we had a lot of calls from people and talking, giving us their own opinions and their own contributions to the issues at stake concerning the 2019 elections and who becomes the next president of this great country this year. Okay, Sowore, please, how do you intend to tackle the issue of youth unemployment?
Before I talk about youth unemployment, I'd like to respond robustly to my colleague's position on Atiku and the investment in power. Under Atiku's leadership as the vice president, he actually had broad powers, and he headed he was the chairman of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, the people who sold most of Nigeria's public enterprises to the private sector. And what has come out of it? They sold it to their friends. They invested $16 billion, public knowledge, in the power sector to generate darkness. Nigeria's power sector has not improved. I'm glad that you mentioned that they did an IPP. They then go and point to you where they generated an additional megawatt of electricity. None. And that's why Alhaji Atiku don't come to this kind of event. They don't want to face people like us so that we can handle this publicly, expose their corruption and their unpatriotic act toward this country. Nobody in Atiku's shoe or Buhari's shoe should be rewarded with the presidency. It will be a crime against the people of this country to continue to give this element, and I'm not afraid to say criminal elements, to continue to govern this country. If you look at Atiku's...
That remains. That's my opinion.
It's my personal opinion. I'm a journalist, and they know me as well because I know him personally. I interviewed him before in Washington, in Potomac, where he bought the mansion that eventually had to sell when they ran him out of the U.S. And this is the reason why they're afraid to debate in public, because we can tell the story and the history of Nigeria.
But let's come back to it on the 19th or thereabouts.
Well, it's good at me. Because they know that I have all this information that they don't want the public to know. But they can't escape it because Nemesis is coming. But let's go to youth employment. How do you employ people? You create jobs. And how do you create jobs? You invest in industries, you invest in the power sector. For example, we intend to invest in the power sector so that we can start generating realistically 24,000 megawatts of electricity. They did it in Egypt. If I take $16 billion and invest in the power sector, as they did in Egypt in 2.5 years, which came on board, that connected 40 million people, they spent only $7.2 billion to generate 14,000 megawatts.
Will you allow me to take this office?
Well, I would have preferred that this is not interrupted. I agree with you on that one, that the free flow of conversation is being interrupted by incessant calls. And that, with 16 billion or 14 billion now, we would generate 14 plus 14, that's 28,000 megawatts of electricity. And we can immediately hook people onto it. You don't just generate without distribution. That is why they keep coming up with all these funky names of Gencos and Discos. It doesn't make sense because electricity is not reaching the people who need it. That's why you can never find the accurate number of electricity we generate. Even with our brother here, he had 1 said is 8,000. There's no record of any 8,000 megawatts generated anywhere, even officially. Then at the point he said the 7,000, they are transmitting 4,000 capacity. There's no capacity when you cannot generate. When Egypt finished their 14,000 megawatts, they hooked it onto 40 million households. There's no question about it. How many households do we have in Nigeria? How many have been supplied with electricity? Zilch, none. Since the last 20 years that Alhaji Atiku and his friends have been in the political process. You look at Atiku, who is his campaign manager, Kola Saraki, who destroyed the bank, who is his chief spokesperson, Dino Melaye, who is in police custody for attempted murder. These are the kind of characters that they want to bring back to come and take over this country. And that's what we must reject. I feel sad, and I mean it, because I see this young man, gentle guy, that they have to lend even the little credibility they have and their energy to be supporting this same old failed politician.
Yeah, but as a Nigerian,
it's his choice.
He has
the right to do it. But they can't defend this. They can't defend the crime committed against Nigerian people, the rape and pillage of our resources carried out by the articles of this world, carried out by the Babangidas of this world, carried out by the Buharis of this world. This country cannot be sustained on their lies, on their wickedness, and their ineffectiveness in leadership, which has been shown to the world. And this is why I cringe when people say that Atiku.
Okay, talking about the plan, what is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's plan on youth unemployment? How does he intend to tackle it?
I think that would be fair to act in discussion without allowing me to respond to what he just said. He said Atiku Abubakar has no plan.
So that's what he's saying. One of the plans is to tackle unemployment, and he has shown that he's concerned about it.
So what he's going to do is each year he's going to invest 500 billion naira on micro, small and medium enterprises.
Okay.
And he's going to create 3 million jobs for the youth.
Okay.
And he's going to bring private sector that is going to be the engine of the economy, like I said, and this private sector will employ more of the youth. And there are a lot of programs for the youth, but I'm very interested to respond to what Sowore was saying. People like Sowore are much more interested in accusing and pointing fingers without showing a plan. I have not seen Showore's plan.
Because you're not reading. Apparently you're not reading.
You didn't read. You too, you're not reading because
I read it. I read it. It's not different from what even in fact.
So now you agree Atiku has a plan.
No, the plan they have was actually lifted.
So he has a plan. But
whatever plan I'm saying realistically, I'm challenging it.
You say he has no plan.
This is the reason why I wish that I'm sitting across from Abubakar Atiku.
I ask you a question. So you say Atiku has no plan?
You tell us a plan apart from this bogey that you are going to invest in the public sector. Haven't you been investing in the public sector?
Let me
ask the private sector. Isn't it to the private sector that people sold questions? NEPA, you sold.
You see, this is
Nigeria.
That's why we need people with leadership experience.
You don't have no leadership experience, you have stealing experience. Particularly, you have money laundering experience. What leadership experience?
Being an SUG president or managing an online platform cannot qualify you to Nigeria.
We have not been in public service and it's been a stealing business. I'm telling you that don't insult my intelligence by saying there's been in what public service.
No, you had your time.
We are having a conversation. What public service did he do tonight? What service? You have been in the public eye. No service. What service did you do to Nigeria that NGO university?
How we cannot reach another country.
We have handed them to your principal. What did you do?
If
he laundered money.
Now you are pointing finger at
you took 40 million naira from the US. This is the reason why you can't enter US. Next week is sending Peter Obi to go and represent at the town hall meeting in New York. Why can't he go to the US? Because him and his wife.
America or not?
No, it matters.
What we care if he can live and stay in Nigeria. Because he's going to be president of Nigeria, not of America.
If Atiku love Nigeria so
you've been in New York.
That's fine. Why did Atiku love Nigeria?
Coming back to Nigeria?
I've never left Nigeria, to be honest with you.
You're never left Nigeria?
Yes, but when I say I mean it, that I've always engaged here. But I met
You've been away.
No,
and you're just coming back because
when I met Atiku the last time, I met him in a mansion in Potomac. That is not Yola.
That's just a visit.
Okay.
You've been away for some time and you're coming back because you've been SUG president and you are back from. That is not correct. That's why I said Nigerians, you cannot risk handing over the country to people like
Sowore. That's what I'm saying. You are not answering the question. You are not answering the question about experience.
And he was talking about, let me respond to the issue of the power. He talked about 60
Let's
million.
respond to.
You cannot tell me that there's not been invested in the power sector during Obasanjo and Atiku as president. And he said NIPP has not produced anything. You should go and check. The 3,000 capacity we have added is as a result of the NIPP. The improvement. Go and check your record.
What are you producing now?
What we are producing?
Yes. What was?
Don't you see what we are producing now?
This is private generator.
Who told you? We are now having production capacity, generation capacity, and distribution capacity of over 4,000. Yeah, it started from there.
It's not true.
Without the plan,
it's not true. You have invested.
It's okay. We have a call.
And to respond to that, what Atiku Abubakar is going to do is now in the generation segment, instead of paying gas fee in dollars, now we're going to change it and pay in naira. Most of the people that are producing electricity, they find it very expensive because of the exchange rate.
Okay.
But now we're going to change that into domestic currency.
Okay, sorry, please, let's just take a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name and your location, please.
I'm calling from Sweden.
Okay, what's your name again?
My name is Sonny. I'm calling from Sweden.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Good morning. It's a great day for me to have conversation with you people.
Okay.
That guy is talking about that. Who is that people always worry? Is it not talking one there? The so far that guy is some of those people that people know. We have this one president that is making noise, is talking nonsense over there. Who is that people? Ask me who is that people. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, I can hear you. Okay.
Is it crazy? And people telling to one represent this, is not saying nonsense about them. If Nigeria was without people that be going on, now we have a Senate president that go to save our country back his state government, he says nonsense. What the fuck is wrong with it?
Okay, thank you. Sorry, we don't use such language. We don't use such language on air, please. Try and we need to be more civil than this, please. Nigeria is our own, we don't spoil it. Thank you. Okay, we have an issue that has been on the front burner for quite some time now, and it has become a monster. And then without it, I don't think there can be meaningful progress in growth or development. Every sector, it affects every sector, and that is the issue of insecurity.
Yeah.
Yes, please, just briefly, what are you going to do differently from what it's being done now to restore normalcy?
Next to understand insecurity,
okay,
it's affecting Nigeria.
Yes.
So you have to categorize as terrorism.
Yeah, terrorism and insurgency.
And
banditry and all of that.
Kidnapping and general crime.
Yes.
Terrorism is on the highest pedestal, problems. And what we are seeing is that we don't have equipment, right?
But with the $1 billion voted?
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. Because when they voted $1 billion, they claim that they're going to use it to fight Boko Haram. But you ask anybody to show you any jets, fighter jet that's reported with that, let them show you, the armed personnel.
They say they are waiting the delivery of the Tucano jets in 2023. 2023.
They said, do the troops wait for those kind of deliveries before they fight? Is Boko Haram going on vacation?
Okay, so what are you going to do differently?
So it's to invest and ensure that investment reach the soldiers, is to motivate them, is to train and ensure that we also ensure that we're having a kind of right partnership with the international community to fight terrorism wherever they may be, because it's a cross-border issue. It is the reason why you must vote for the president that can attend international conferences and have the credibility.
Do you see any iota of sabotage within and from the system?
Of course. As a report. covered extensively how army generals were making money. And I've said it publicly and I will put it here, that the reason Boko Haram has persisted is because of corruption, it's because it has moved from being a crisis to a business.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's now big business. So the people who are reaping and benefiting from it, they don't want Boko Haram to end. And on top of Boko Haram, we've now added, headsmen
and the armed bandits in
Zamfara. Last,
yes.
Nowhere is safe, including Katsina, where the president is from. Nowhere is safe, including Adamawa, where our opponent is from.
Okay,
and this is in Nigeria they created.
May I ask you one question? Yeah, questions, talks have been wagging and issues have been coming up, especially on social media, and people are asking, why are you particularly attacking the person of Alhaji Atiku?
No, I'm not. I'm attacking the integrity of all the participants in the presidential.
But they are saying that it's more pronounced.
It's not. Maybe they're not watching. They're not watching me. If you watch me, I go after President Buhari.
But they say you're not vocal when it comes to issues.
It's not true. It's not true. Except you're not following me. I went to President Buhari's hometown, and spoke that the man is useless. With due respect.
Sorry, you can use the word against the sitting president.
No, I'm saying it because I'm a citizen of Nigeria, and that it is time for him to return home because he has not offered any value.
Nigerians will decide that.
Yes, and it's such a problem that you are saying that I haven't attacked him. We have attacked his policy. I was on AIT. Attacking is anti-corruption. In fact, when I did AIT, it was more about Buhari. I didn't even talk about Atiku yet. Saying that the whole anti-corruption war is a fallacy. It's a farce. And it was on record. So how can you say about that? I'm attacking all of them. But particularly, I'm nauseated, when people tell me that Atiku has a plan for Nigeria. The only plan they have is to come and loot this country dry. Okay. That's the plan.
Okay, so
and that's the agenda. Every other thing is just a wrapper.
Okay.
Around that agenda.
Okay. Well, sir, what is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's plan?
Well,
on insecurity.
You see,
on insecurity.
On insecurity.
Yes.
You see, when you ask Sowore, he only told you that he will do something to ensure security, but he didn't tell you what is that something he's going to do. He only mentioned international community. But what can you do inside your country? Internally, what can you do to fix the insecurity? That was the question, and he didn't respond to that. He went on attacking. You see, when you talk, I allowed you to talk. As the president of the country, when you are representing Nigeria at the international community, when leaders are talking, your colleagues are talking, you are supposed to listen. Because they allowed you to talk at an international community and United Nations. When we send you as a president and you are interrupting other leaders, it's an embarrassment to our country. So what I'm saying is, instead of using the tool of attack and abuses, as someone who wants to lead this country, you should campaign with the issues and policy.
So can we be able to plan to do about security?
That's the problem.
Okay, let's go.
You are the moderator. The insecurity issue. What Atiku Abubakar wants to do is, first, we are going to create what we call the policy that will register child at birth. Every person that has been born in this country will be registered. So we now have a record of everyone. Where you work, where you live, where you stay, where you move. Everything you do, we have your record. We are going to do another population census to know the exact number of people we have inside the country and who are other people that are living in the country illegally. Atiku Abubakar will also restructure and decentralize security institutions. And we are going to strengthen regional security strategies. What he's going to do now, he's going to also explore diplomacy, intelligence, tertiary institutions, and good neighborhoods, so that people will have to protect themselves first, because internal security, local community security is very important. Public enlightenment about protecting themselves and dealing with the insurgency using our armed resources. Atiku Abubakar said, give me 30 days, I will solve the problem of Zamfara. He will deploy 30,000 soldiers to Zamfara and capture all these armed bandits and bring them to law. That's what he's going to do.
Okay, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we will come back to wrap up the conversation. Please, I did say earlier, we can't take WhatsApp calls. I have some people complain that it's unfair to them. We can't take it, it's going to interfere with our transmission, just send us a chat or put your voice calls across to us. Thank you.
All this in the bid to crush the resistance by the hungry people. We shall be free the day we realize that there are only hungry Nigerians.
Take it back, action!
The TV and over federal class did not only create wealth for the minority, dear friends, cronies and stalwarts, and hunger for the majority, but also created a people who see themselves as hungry Yorubas, hungry Igbos, hungry Hausas. The scenes have succeeded in creating hungry pastors and hungry imams. All this in the bid to crush the resistance by the hungry people. We shall be free the day we realize that there are only hungry Nigerians.
Take it back, action!
The TV and over federal class did not only create wealth for the minority, dear friends, cronies and stalwarts, and hunger for the majority, but also created a people who see themselves as hungry Yorubas, hungry Igbos, hungry Hausas. The scenes have succeeded in creating hungry pastors and hungry imams. All this in the bid.
Watching the conversation on Bright Radio TV, the home of talk and entertainment. And I have in the studio the presidential candidate of African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, and Ahmed Adamu. He's the special assistant to His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on youth and strategy. Okay, Mr. Sowore, Independent National Electoral Commission is the electoral umpire, statutorily mandated to organize and supervise the elections. What is your take on the independence of INEC and their ability to be able to conduct a free, fair, and credible election?
I said it 3 days ago that I think it was the day before we attended an INEC meeting. It was a quarterly consultative forum of INEC and chairman of political parties. And it turns out that INEC has guidelines that they drafted on their own and didn't include participants in the political process. What I would say to you, it's almost a job of INEC to rig the elections for the ruling party. It's up to Nigerian people, because there's no independence. You can remove the word independence from INEC. There's no independence. They don't enjoy independence. They have to go through all kinds of process, the nomination process, the backdoor dealings. We had a situation where someone who's accused of being a relative of the president is going to be in the collation center, and nothing is being done about that. And I had to call for her to, just by her own, resign from the process, because the moment there's doubt about your impartiality, it destroys the credibility of the electoral process. But it's for Nigerians to be vigilant and ensure that when they vote, they capture the results of their votes with devices, so that there's ample evidence out there independently. I've done it before in 2015, where the coverage of the election led to results that ought to have been different, but because we had independent coverage, we were able, through our reporters, to declare the results of the election presumed winner before even INEC announced it. Okay. And I think that's what I'll call it. It's going to be citizen vigilance against INEC's crookedness. Okay. We have only heard from the chairman of INEC that this election, but I've not seen demonstrated at the level of INEC any sincerity that we want to conduct a free and fair election.
Okay. Speaking on behalf of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, what is his disposition regarding INEC and the forthcoming elections?
Well, Atiku Abubakar respects rule of law and respects the electoral empire, the INEC, and we allow them to do their job. What we call on them is to be sincere and honest and hold on to trust, because they now have a trust, the people trust, and God will ask them, will hold them responsible for the trust now they have. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that people vote and protect their own vote. People will be very vigilant at the polling units. And now what we call on President Buhari is to sign the Electoral Amendment Act. So if he has not done that, that means he has something personal. Otherwise, I've not seen anything wrong with that. So what we call on him is to sign the amendment.
Okay.
And then let's have everyone happy.
Okay.
And let's ensure transparency.
All right, let's take this last call on today's conversation. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, your name and your location.
My name is calling from Germany.
From Germany.
That's what the conversation now.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to have a little bit of conversation concerning what they're talking about.
Okay. I didn't get.
Can we start with you?
Okay, we're looking at the issues that concern the 2019 general elections in Nigeria, and I have Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate of African National Congress, and special assistant to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on Youth and Strategy, Ahmed Adamu, in the studio today, looking at the issues.
Yes. Yes. So, can I do a little bit something?
Okay, you just have 60 seconds, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So can I talk to, because I can't hear talking to the...
Go ahead, they can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead and make your contribution, they can hear you.
Okay. What I want to say is this, is that Omoyele Sowore is the person we want as president in 2019. I don't understand what this guy is talking about, this Atiku Abubakar, president, whatever. I don't know what he's talking about. A young guy like this is supposed to be a scapegoat to somebody like that. For Atiku, a old man, it's supposed to be dreaming of a better Nigeria, not a old we are all in for more and Sowore.
Okay.
We're not in for Buhari or
Thank you for your contribution. At this point in time, I would have to put out the call because we've come to the end of the program today. Thanks for calling, and maybe some other time you call again on the program. Thank you so much. Okay. Time wouldn't permit us to go further than this, but I do hope you will come back to the studio again to continue this conversation. On the condition that we bring Atiku.
I think in person does not have to be here.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to be here by himself. Contesting election is not about personality.
It is.
So it's about project, Nigerian project. It's about
it's about resources.
But now we're debating with you, but you are not talking about issues. No, we are teaching.
We are not talking about the history.
You are saying you are the only one with the integrity. I'm the only candidate. When you say that, you don't have. There's a question there. You are teaching your followers. You are
integrity. You can attack me just like
you are saying you are the only one with integrity.
No, I'm the only candidate. It's not like you're accusing me of being a student union and you're attacking my integrity. Okay, Mr. Sowore.
What I would advise you is to mentor your people well. Look at what your supporters are calling and saying.
They are not my supporters, they're Nigerians. I don't even know that.
Maybe you've arranged for that.
No.
So who knows? So, but when I want you to be a good mentor, tell us you're facing what you say.
We need to move Nigeria. The way they are.
You need to start from becoming a governor or a senator, and then you learn the discipline and the manners of leadership. But he was a governor.
Thank you so much.
And he was in the public service. The custom service. But he was in business.
Thank you.
That's a problem.
Thank you. How did he make his money? Thank you, gentlemen.
Now that's a lot of people. He's in the business. You go and check. He had a better position. You can count his business.
Where is his cocoa farm and where is his farm?
Okay, Mr. Sowore and Mr. Sowore. Okay, thank you so very much. We've come to the end of the conversation today. Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment. I did say that this is day 37, counting down to the 2019 general elections. And Mr. Sowore and Ahmed Adamu have been talking about issues in the studio concerning the 2019 election. I would like to point at this point that their views and opinions remain theirs and do not represent that of Bright Radio TV or the organization. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show. Thank you so very much. It's possible that comes your program to talk about. Stay with us.
Can we use this one to do that? Sorry. Come on. Where is Obama, Obama, come here.
Obama, they work for you.
Which one? Okay, Aya, let's go.
Mike Obama.
Okay, sorry, let's.
Thank you so much.
Hi, sir.
How are you feeling, Mr. President?
I'm hungry because anger makes you hungry sometimes.
I know what I'm doing, but
Call me, man. You got to join us. Don't use your intelligence. Don't use your intelligence to service all these criminals. Nice guy like you, man. I like to walk with you.
yeah.
All right, shall we? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Use the stairs.
No, I know. Now we have 25 seconds.